Hello everyone, uh, this is Sagarkum Patel here. Let me introduce myself. I have been working in a pharmaceutical industry and CRO more than 5 years as a senior statistical programmer. Currently, I'm working with the Labcorp Drug Development US. Today, I'm going to present a paper published on improving intrusion detection in cloud-based healthcare using neural networks. So this research introduced an efficient smart security solution with the effective healthcare techniques for arrhythmia classification using the cloud computing scenario. So initially the ECG of the patient in both the static and dynamic environment is collected using sensors and is stored in a cloud in which the clustering of the network and cluster head selection is devised using the hybrid time test optimization algorithm. And I ordered to ensure the security for the collected healthcare data. The intrusion detection model is devised and implemented into the cloud storage for secure the data access using the neural network, where the neural network is trained using the hybrid temps or optimization algorithm. So initially the ECG of the patient in both the static and dynamic environment is collected using the sensor and stored in a cloud. So with this advanced growth of information technology, smart healthcare become the emerging field in the healthcare scenario, as you know, like which help them access information anywhere and at any time as per the requirement for the real-time applications. So the information of the patients like electrocardiogram is obtained from the patients through the wearable devices and sensors in the smart healthcare scenario, and the heart needs to be monitored for a healthy life because of its significance. Hence the disease classification based on the heart is considered for the research, and the heart disease classification is a challenging task. So motivation of this project is the smart healthcare based arrhythmia classification using the signal gathered from the IoT sensor stored in the cloud is utilized for the healthcare monitoring of the patients. Several methods were developed for the classification of disease. Still, the challenges such as inaccurate classification, corrupted signal, computational explicities prevail in the existing system. So the major contribution of the researches are there are four. One is hybrid Tempest algorithm, second is optimal CH selection, third one is Tempest neural network for intrusion detections, and fourth is arrhythmia classification. While talking about the hybrid Tempest algorithm, the hybrid Tempest optimization algorithm is designed by integrating the characteristics behavior of particular for that collaborative search agents, which helps to obtain the more accurate global solutions. And optimal CH selection is the patient information are like device optimally through the develop algorithm. And the third is Tempest neural network for intrusion detections. The intrusion detection is employed using the neural network, which is trained by the Tempest algorithm. And last one is arrhythmia classification. This neural network is utilized for classification of arrhythmia, which is performed using the remaining section of the research is detailed in our next slide. So while talking about the literature review and related work, the most significant features are chosen using the assemble method for the selection of the reduce feature for detection of the intrusion. So here is the intrusion is detected based on a traffic in the network, and the multivariate features are not employed that may elevate the classification model's performance. So this optimization based arrhythmia classification was employed by the research paper of arrhythmia classification based on an improved Monroe butterfly or optimization algorithm, in which the accuracy acquired by that method was higher with reduced computation complexity due to the attribute selections. So there's conventional arrhythmia classifications techniques are the IoT cloud base using the deep learning network for the cardiac diagnosis. So it was the process using the filtering and normalization approach prior to the classification for the removal of unwanted noises and artifacts. And based on that, we can secure and effective the classification of that arrhythmia. So, here is the model architecture of the working model. This the smart healthcare applications ensure the efficiency in data administration and reduce the complexity. And in addition, the Internet of Things gathers distributed information from multiple sources, integrates the in real time, and offer doctors to monitor patients from the remote area. So this smart IoT measure the scenario in which reliable, scalable, and secure data sharing in a significant aspect. So this information usually collected through the sensors that need to be transmitted to the storage in the multipath. So information gathering from the patients, and then we give it that data to the intrusion detection. Then after filterize with the neural networks, and they give the final like arrhythmia classification. So in a figure, you can see that like smart healthcare based arrhythmia classification, the IoT sensors are utilized for the gathering ECG signal from the patients in the dynamic environment, and that information collected by the nodes in transmitted to the sync node through the cluster head. So the network clustering was employed through the tempest algorithm, in which the optimal cluster head is selected for the information the transmissions, and that cluster head store to the that cluster head stored ECG signal in the cloud, which need to be encrypted using the ECG encryption algorithm. Here is the network modeling, like how it works. So here in the smart healthcare base, IoT and sensorize the ECG signal as I talk. That's to store the ECG signal in the cloud. And there is a receiver also that the cloud receive all the details. So this TEMPS algorithm is designed by maintaining the intensification and diversification, like searching the capability for the attainment of global based solution. So like this cluster-based transmission is employed by the Tempest algorithm is utilized for the clustering the network and the optimal customer head selections. And in this one, we are using the hybrid Temps optimization algorithm. So initially, all the search nodes in the search space are randomly distributed and initialize positions that the gravitational force, gravitational constant, and equalization distance measures evolution is considered by the particles for updating the positions. Besides, the acceleration and the velocity of the particle search agents are estimated for the position updation. This is the arrhythmia classification using artificial in a detail, like when we give the receive the data from the input ECG signal, and then we give it to the feature extraction, and it's passed through the neural networks, and then it gives to the arrhythmia classification model. So this arrhythmia classification is devised using that ECG signal from the cloud, and the spectral features like statistical features and ICA are the extracted for the generation of the future, which give the vector to give to the inputs classification. As the ECG signal is produced from the cloud, which earlier we have seen in a receiver, cloud receiver, so that the receive the ECG signal and its request for the access, which is utilized for the classification of that particular disease. After comparing all the models by the arithmetic operations and the algorithms by generating the figures, we get the data and we use the two data sets actually from the different ECG signals from the cloud receivers. So the comparatively analysis is detailed here and shows in a table. You can see there are the different algorithms like the SVM, random forest, KNN, decision tree, and neural network. So we have measured the accuracy, sensitivity, and specificity. So the comparatively, the dataset one accuracy secured by the developed neural network model technique is 93.20% accuracy, which is 6.25 higher from SVM, 5.22 higher from random forest, 3.19 from the KNN, and 1.19 from the decision tree. So similarly, the sensitivity also secured, by comparing this method, like a 96.78%, which is 11.05% better than that the SVM model, 10.13% better than that random forest model, and 4.41% better than the KNN, and it's 3.56 better than the decision tree method, as well as the specificity also increased from 92.06 SVM model to 95.29. So this is a great achievement result by using the neural network. Thank you so much. So in a conclusion, we can see that in the smart healthcare scenario, secure information sharing is significant for real-time health monitoring, because nowadays the patient's data are, very important according to the HIPAA policy and all. So the researchers proposed a smart healthcare technique for the secure storage and transmission of the ECG signal to classify the disease. So the clustering of the network is employed using the Tempest algorithm, which reduces the latency in information transmission. Besides that, Tempest algorithm is utilized to train the neural network for the intrusion detection that helps to tune the way optimally, which make the detection with the global based solution. So the finally, classification of disease is devised by the neural network classifier to classify the disease is present or not by, generating that arithmetic algorithm. So the performance is assessed in terms of intrusion detection using the precision, recall detection rate, and FAR with the values as we discussed earlier, 95.0%. And it is respectively, and arrhythmia classification attained the accuracy of 95.72%. So in the future, we can say that the novel method will be the device to enhance classification accuracy, and the real world experiments will be devised.